Hello, Jerry Stewart here with another episode of Common Sense. If you look here, in our yard, we have a flagpole. You can kind of look up. Well, so what happens is that a couple of years ago, we decided to put a flagpole up in our yard. Amazingly, they're very inexpensive, and there's a company that can actually give you everything you need. It would be great if every patriot in America had a flagpole in their yard and the flag proudly flying. Now, as you can notice by looking up, we have two flags. Now, the wind's not blowing, I wish it was, but we have the American flag, of course, oh glory, and we have our state of Texas flag. You know, in Texas, we fought for our independence in Texas also. 1836, the Alamo, then on to San Jacinto, and we fought for our freedom. Down here in Texas, we know about fighting for our freedom. And you know what else? If we don't fight for our freedom, we are going to lose our freedom. Now, I thought it would be important for us to be talking about the flag with this whole crisis issue going on about whether we respect the flag or not. And let me tell you something. I'm getting ready to be doing a special program for Veterans Day that is the men at the Battle of Iwo Jima in World War II that went through the single bloodiest battle in the history of our nation. It was the battle at Iwo Jima where 28,000 Marines were wounded, over 8,000 Marines were killed in only less than a 1-month battle. And you know what kept those men going? What kept those men going, and I talked with these fellows, they're all passed away now, but a number of years ago I talked with them and they told me what kept them going. Now listen carefully. What kept them going was that in the midst of that battle, the person in charge gave a flag to a few of the men, and he pointed over at a little mountain called Suribachi, and he said, climb that mountain, whatever you have to do, and when you get to the top, you put up the American flag. Now, out in the bay was a whole fleet of ships that had all been bombarding the island to try to kill the Japanese, the enemy. There was all of these ships. There was tens of thousands of men there down on the beach. Some were injured, they were dead, they're on the beach. When these men got to the top and raised that flag, I was told by the men that were there that every man on that beach and every ship out in the bay, they all let out a great, great scream, a hoorah. Now think about it. When you get really, really enthusiastic and you get emotional, it builds you up. It gives you courage to be able to go forward with whatever's getting ready to come. And the ships were tooting their horns, and everybody was so excited. Little did they know, so many, that would be the last time they ever gave out a hurrah for our flag. Let me tell you something. If you see something in our country that's not right, stand up, speak out, go to your city council, go to your local government, start an organization to help whatever you can do, but do not diss our flag. Those men at Iwo Jima, they gave their lives for what that flag stands for. And it stands for respect and for remembering the red, the shedding of the blood. I have respect for people who want to try to speak out, but do not disrespect the flag in what you do. It's very passive. It's not that effective. You could be much more effective if you took your money and your time and devoted it to something special. Now let me show you something. This is the flag that I just took down. And as you can see, it's been up there a while. Now, the only thing that's had to endure is some pretty good Texas storms, some rain, some weather, and such, but it is a tattered flag. And that's the reason that we took it down. We want the best. We want the best to be hanging from our flagpole. But let me tell you something. There's a story in our American history. The year was 1812, and the Brits, remember, we had already taken them out in the Revolutionary War, and they were still pretty upset with us. So then we come into this war called the War of 1812 between now America and the Brits. And the Brits were determined to get even with us. They were trying to burn down Washington, D.C., and they landed all of their ships in a harbor right outside of Baltimore. And guarding that harbor was a fort, Fort McHenry. And the Brits had made up their mind that they were going to take that fort out. Well, there was an attorney. His name was Francis Scott Key. And he had been sent there to negotiate the release of some prisoners that were on those ships, those British ships. Well, he gets on there, he negotiates the release of the prisoners, but they say, oh, by the way, you're not leaving until we take out this fort. And we're gonna let you watch while we take it out. So Francis Scott Key was a bit of a poet. He liked to write poems. And that night, as the sun goes down and the British begin bombarding that fort, he looks at the flag one last time and he wonders, will the flag still be there in the morning? Well, as he's writing his poem and as the night goes on, he talks about the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, and he's looking with all of his might to see if the flag is still there. Well, he talks about it and talks about it, and then when we get to the end, just as the sun is rising, he says the flag is still there. Now the significance, if the British had taken that fort, the flag, the American flag would have come down and the British flag would have gone up. The flag was still there. The fort had stayed their course, had fought, and they were still in control. Let me tell you something, folks. There's a battle going on for our nation right now, and it's the perfect picture of what happened at Fort McHenry. There are people that are throwing bombs and rockets and everything they can at our flag. We should be praying, folks, working hard, standing up, speaking out. We should be working with all of our might to see that nobody takes down our flag. Let us pray for our nation. Let us pray for God's strength and wisdom and direction so that the flag will stand and we will honor it. Don't let yourself fall for a bunch of arguing and people who want to take signs and smack people and stuff. Stand firm for what you believe, but do it in a good, patriotic way, in a way that the country will look and see, well, that our country, America, is worth saving. And do not forget, the flag is still there. The rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in the air. But remember, the flag is still there. Hey, if you like this, give me a like. If you don't like it, give me a I don't like, and tell me why. Please, sign up. Please become a subscriber. That helps my cause. We're getting close to the amount of subscribers that we need to where we can get a little more freedom within the site, okay? So do that. Also too, once you subscribe, send me an email and we will allow you to go and do an instant download of one of my patriotic radio audio programs, okay? Thank you so much. Love you all. God bless you. See you next time.